All right, y'all, the purpose of this video is to give you a little bit more context on the entire series, not just part one, but what's this entire series, this I Am Well Warrior Christian End Time Wellness series. What's this all about? So the Lord has called me to be a warrior for Him and also an ambassador for wellness. Most of y'all know I was a personal trainer for a long time, owned a gym for a long time. But he's led me on a path of transitioning just from fitness to a focus on wellness. And for 20 years, interviewing people for positions in gyms, I used to ask them the question, what's the difference between fitness and wellness? So I'm answering that question in part one, what is wellness? But so in a nutshell, wellness includes lots of different components other than just the physical, right? You've got the physical, you've got spiritual, intellectual, emotional, occupational, social, and environmental. There are 7 different components of wellness. So the purpose of this series is to first educate people on what is wellness, give them some tools for becoming empowered, give them some information, some knowledge, some wisdom to understand what actually works. How do these different components interact with each other? What's the power of language? What's the power of my free will? How do I, through language and exercising my free will and using my hands and interacting with the physical stuff around me, how do I improve all of those different components to be a truly well person, right? So different books in the series are going to focus on different areas. Like part one, what is wellness? Well, you know what? Let me just read you the series contents. So here's what you can expect to find inside the I Am Well Warrior Christian End Time Wellness series, the entire series. What is wellness? Free will and language. The enemy. I am physical. I am spiritual. I am intellectual. I am emotional. I am occupational, I am social, I am environmental. And then after we cover all of the different components of wellness and teach you how to really make decisions that are consistent with those components functioning well, functioning optimally to create this thing we call wellness, then we talk about the end of this age. And we talk about end time prophecies. So we're going to actually go through the Bible. We're going to go through all of the different end time prophecies and break down what we think we understand about those things today. After that, in this series, we're going to talk about doing all to stand. How do we resist? What level of resistance is appropriate, right? We're going to break down and give you an end time strategy for survival and for abundant life. Now, obviously, everything is in the Lord's hands. You can't just manifest your destiny or anything like that. But there's a lot that is still within our control. So we're going to learn how to make some wise choices to create the life that we want, a life that honors God, and a life that is obedient to the calling that He's placed on your individual life. So this is not just a blueprint for Jonathan's life. I walk you through the questions to ask yourself to make sure that you are in obedience to God's will for your life. And at the end, we come back and I have a conclusion that says, I am well. And we actually walk you through teaching you, coaching you, giving you things to do, homework assignments, and actually, it's not just information, it's then also accountability to help you to actually become well. So we're going to have several different parts along the way. Part 1 and part 2 are already written. Part 2 is I Am Physical, and it breaks down all of this physical stuff. So as a personal trainer, it'll end up being one of my more favorite books. The I'm Spiritual book is going to be mind-blowing for many people. And I know this is just what I already know is going to go into it. And I know that as I get into it, the Lord's going to give me a lot more for that too. The I Am Environmental book is going to be crazy for a lot of y'all. And then I know that the Lord is going to equip the last days remnant with some incredibly powerful tools and wisdom to face everything that this Antichrist beast system is going to throw at us in the last days. We're not going to avoid hardship. We're not going to create some utopia here. Jesus is the one who's going to come back and correct everything. But we can still do our part. And in fact, we should do our part to manage our lives and to do all to stand, to resist evil. We're to be obedient to God. We're to resist the devil, and then he'll flee from us. So, just a quick little intro to the intention of the entire series. But we got to start with part one. What is wellness? And in part one, you're going to learn what is wellness. We're going to talk about how to pour into your wellness cups. So what's that mean and how do you do it? We're going to talk about the power of free will and language. And we're going to talk about the enemy of your soul, who's doing everything he can with precision and great strategy, great tact, and an nearly unlimited amount of resources to destroy your life and to make you unwell. So as this world gets crazier and crazier, and the attacks on our health and on our wellness and on our spiritual well-being, as the attacks increase, you're going to need to be a warrior to be able to stand. And that's the intention of this series. Y'all stay well and be blessed.